Hey, this is Nathan with LS3. Today we're going to be going over the doorbell configuration for your new Alarm.com video doorbell. So today we're going to look at the doorbell and the various notifications and recording schedules that we can set up for it. So if you scroll on, this is just on the dashboard, if we scroll down to where it says doorbell, click the little top alligator mouth in the top right, and by default you'll notice that there's an exclamation point here that says turn on push notifications. Let's click that, and you'll need to enable push notifications on your phone if it's not already. And then we need to edit this, so we'll click on the top gear and let's find our doorbell video call notification. So your system may have more or less notifications than mine. But for this instance, you notice that it says the front door. When the button is pushed, at all times, I want to generate a notification. And you can see the current recipients right here. If I want to add one, I could come in here and I can see all of the available ones. If you're on a device, it should say this device right here. You see, I've got two Nathan's iPhones, but apparently this iPhone 3 is me, because it says this device. So I'm going to show you how to edit those here in just a minute. We can edit what that actually says, and that way it's a little more intuitive when we're adding notifications in the future. But let's hit close, and you can see now I've got iPhone 3. This device is now added to that notification. If you wanted to come in here, you can change the to the following times. You can make it Monday through Friday. Put a set time that if anyone rings the doorbell outside of business hours, for instance, you may not want to get those phone calls, but for our purposes, let's go ahead and keep it at all times. And you can actually generate a call only once every 5 minutes, and you can make that more or less. It's super handy around the time of Halloween if you wanted to make that longer. Let's go ahead and hit save. And then the other one is going to be a recording rule. So it's not actually here under notifications, but you notice that little banner went away once we enabled that. And now we're going to click on the gear again. And you probably won't have these are just other cameras we have. But there's our front door technically. So let's just click on front door. And then if you scroll down, you'll notice recording rules right here. So let's click on that. Okay, so right here it says 24/7 record. That's one that we set up custom. You can add a custom rule up here at the top. So we just have it recording all the time. However, by default, it's going to track for, it's going to look for an analytic right here. So doorbell person detection recording schedule. This is one that's auto-generated. It comes actually off. So you'll want to click on this and make sure that it is on, but let's click on the little pencil. And it should pull up a screen of our view, and this is called a ground zone. So if you don't like what this looks like, we can actually clear this out. And the ground zone means I want to detect motion anywhere within this green box. So I'm going to actually do several points here and make it a little bit better than it was. Okay. And then now that I've created this little blob, I can kind of expand the corners out to a little bit better, exactly where I want them once I get that added. We don't want to be catching the street, but we want to catch anyone that basically makes it onto our property here. Cool. So now we have that ground zone established. We're going to scroll down. You can change sensitivity right here. You can set how long the delay is between clips. So if there's just a bunch of motion, you can only generate a clip once a minute, but you could make this 15 minutes, 30 seconds. That's about the minimum delay, which the clips last about 30 seconds, so that's pretty instant that it would record again. I want to set that rule to all times, but just like the notifications, we can refine that to where it only happens during certain times. If you have a lot of traffic during business hours, you could make it to where it only generates these recorded clips after hours if you'd like. But in case an incident happens, during business hours, we just want to be recording that. You can make exemptions, like when the alarm is armed or disarmed. But for our purposes, we just want it 24/7 all the time, and we're going to leave those unchecked. And then geofencing is like basically whenever these devices are within proximity, I would like to record, but we're not going to use that function. Let's keep scrolling down. You can make audio alerts come out of the doorbell when it's recording, basically kind of like a deterrent to tell them that they're being recorded. You can also make the LED flash on and off whenever it's recording as well. And then right here we've got person detection, package delivery, retrieval. If we don't get our packages up by the front door, we get them at the back, but if we did, I probably would check these. But it's a pretty cool notification that actually is tracking for an object being left on your porch, and then it lets you know when that object moves. So it's a pretty cool. If you get a lot of Amazon packages, I would recommend keeping those checked. And then right here below that, you can see the push notification that will be attached to that push notification, or push to that recording clip. So whenever that clip is generated, it will also generate a notification and send to these recipients. You can see right here, remember iPhone 3 was me. I'm going to check that, and then I would like to attach a thumbnail of what that recording clip is of. So it'll just be a little still image that's attached to that notification. You can even generate a notification, send it to an email if you'd like, but most common, just the push notifications that can quickly get swiped away. That's what's recommended. And you can even trigger some lighting. If you have lighting attached to your system as well, you can trigger those based on a recording rule. Some pretty cool stuff you can do through the alarm.com interface based on a motion event and recording rule. So we're going to click save. Cool. Now that that's in there, we are essentially good to go. Now that that is added and attached, if I was to go walk out there in front of that front door, I'd get the push notification on my phone. And then if I was to push that button physically, I would get another notification. That's technically what is called a call notification. It treats it almost like a Skype or a video phone call. I have to accept whenever I'll show you. When I click on this, this will pop up, and I actually have to click the talk button for them to be able to hear me. So if I click talk, now they can hear our conversation. I don't know if you can hear me talking on the other end, but if you want to stop that, you just mute yourself, and now you're no longer being able to be heard by the other person. You can also do some quick actions from here. Like I could unlock the door, I could disarm the alarm, I can open our garage door in the back. A lot of cool quick actions that you can do without even having to jump out of the interface here to let them in per se. If you've got some access control or a Z-Wave lock, you can do a lot of that straight from the interface here. And then when you're done, you just hit end call, and that's it. So that's a quick rundown on just kind of like the video doorbell and getting that initial configuration set up so that you can record and get those push notifications you're looking for.